Hey everyone, Samantha here. In today's video, I'm setting up my 2022 bullet journal. This is going to be a great video for those that maybe want to try bullet journaling this year and are looking for some inspiration, or if you've been bullet journaling for a few years, hopefully this will give you a couple of new spreads and ideas to try out in your journal. All of them are really easy to do, so without further ado, let's jump in and get started. Hello from VoiceOver Sam. So we are at our desk now. My bullet journal is the same color as my nails, but let's go ahead and crack it open. I'm using a Electrum 1917 journal for this video. Love these journals. They lay flat and come in a variety of different colors. So turning to the first page, we'll go ahead and get started with our cover page. Now I'm really excited because the colors that we're using are these gorgeous colors from the Crayola Super Tip line. They're the pastel Easter colors and I just really love how they look. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump in and start with this cover page. So I'm going to take my marker here and create 3 horizontal lines in this color. And then in the next color, going to create 3 vertical lines. I'm just going to continue this pattern, switching out the colors throughout the entire edge of the page here. I just love how this design turned out. Super simple, and you can see all of the colors that we'll be using throughout the year. All right, so we're not done with this page yet. We still have a couple of things left to do. So I'm taking my ruler next, this very simple, very clear ruler here, and my Uniball fine liner 0.3 pen. I have 0.3, 0.4, and 0.8 that I'll be using in today's video, but taking the 0.3 pen and then just drawing one line down and one line across to give it a little bit more of a border on that left edge. And then in the middle of this page, I'm just going to write out 2022 in these bubbly type letters. And I decided that to make these bubble letters pop, I would just do a simple shadow on the end of it. And I think that really helped. And that completes our cover page. Super simple, super cute. All right, so now that our cover page is done, let's move on to our next page, which is going to be our yearly overview page. And this one's a little time consuming, and so I'm starting out by giving each month of the year its own color. So I'm just going through and marking out where I want the month title to be. It'll make more sense in just a second, but directly under that line, I'm gonna write Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because that's how I start my calendars off. And then I'm going to write down all of the months in their boxes. After that, I'm going to put all of the numbers for the calendars in their appropriate order. And yes, it does take a while, but it's totally worth it because it just looks so nice when you get all of the things on there. So this is just our yearly overview page. So I'm going to go ahead and title it The Year at a Glance, and then just do a little bit of details with some of the other markers. And there we go. There's our year at a glance. Nice, clean, simple. This is the only time that you'll see me erasing much of the stuff that I do, but I pre-plan the majority of these pages just so you're not sitting around watching me figure out what I'm doing. All right, so the next page I'm going to create is our monthly recap page. This is basically just a brief summary of what happens during the month, so I can kind of flip to it at the end of the year and see what happened each month. I really love this setup. I did it last year. I'm going to create 12 random squares on this page, making sure they roundabout have the same spacing in all of the boxes. And once I have all of the squares drawn, I'm going to go in with my markers now and do drop shadows for each and every one of the boxes. The box color coincides with the color on the year at a glance. So as you can see, green for January, February, purple, blue, March, etc., etc. So that way I can come flip to this page and just kind of write bullet points in each of the box for every month that I have. All right, so our next page is going to be our first 2 spread page, and it's going to be our future log. So to start off, I'm dividing the page into thirds, and then I will further divide each page in half. So altogether, we get 12 boxes because there are 12 months in the year. After that, I'm just going to go ahead and create a square rectangle thing at the top, which is where our month title will be held. I'll put the month inside of the box. And then just like the boxes on our previous spread, I'm just going to give them a very nice drop shadow with the same color of the month that I had previously. I love it when everything coordinates. And it's so easy to do. All right, we're going to go ahead and give this page a heading. And this is my favorite kind of theme that I have throughout this journal, actually, are these small little doodles. So you kind of do a shape and then you'll go back with your markers and then just give it a shadow. And it looks so nice and so good. Look how easy that is just to kind of make those shapes and pop. Like, oh, I absolutely love this little doodle thing. And here's an example of how I use the future log. I'll write a date, put what is coming up on that day, and then that's it. So moving on to our next page, it's going to be a new spread for this year, and it's going to be a goals page. So I'm starting here by just making a very simple banner. And then I'm going to create 5 different boxes because I have 5 different kind of goal areas in my life that I want to work on this upcoming year. I'm going to go ahead and give everything a title. So give this page a title for goals, and then each box gets its own title: personal, professional, relationship, financial, and then level up. These are just areas within my life that I want to work on this upcoming year, and just some goals that I have. I'll be creating in my journal, just for my own personal stuff, a little bit more of like an action orientated goals section. So let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see what that looks like. But yeah, here are just some things that I kind of want to get better at for this year. I'm going to give the goals banner just a little bit of a shadow, and that finishes up this page. All right, so for my next spread, I did have this as a 4-page spread last year, but decided that this year it'll just be a 1-pager. Basically, it's my books, TV, and film tracker. I'm going to be using the Uniball Emote pen set that I have here. I did an entire review of these pens early on in the year on my channel. I'll leave a link up below and in the description for you if you'd like to go check them out. But here I am just going through. I'm going to create a bookshelf to place 6 books on. I have a goal of reading 6 books this year. I know it's not a lot. I'm not a big reader, but I'm trying to get back into it. And I feel like 6 is pretty good kind of goal to go for this year. So I'm just creating books on a bookshelf. Every time I complete a book, I'll write it on the spine. That way I know what books I read this year. And then I'm going to jazz the shelf up a little bit by putting some plants in and coloring the book spines a bit. And that's how our book tracker looks. So the next tracker on this page is going to be my favorite films and TV of the year. And I thought it would be really cool to have this as like a poster hanging on a wall. So as you can see, I doodled some tape on the edge of the poster. And I actually had lots of posters in my room growing up. Especially in college, I had tons of like TV and film posters on my wall. And this whole vibe of this page is just me in my room, kind of listening and chilling out to some of my favorite things. And I'm using a white gel pen here to put the little dots on the film reel, and it came out really, really good. Very excited. All right, and the last little bit on this page is going to be a little doodle of myself listening to podcasts. I would say don't be afraid to doodle inside of your bullet journal just because it's fun. It's your journal. Have fun with it. I really had lots of fun drawing myself and then drawing a little kind of iPod looking MP3 player thing that holds my favorite podcasts inside of it. So, you know, make this your journal, make it fun. I hope this gives you some inspiration. All right, so the next page we're going to create is our self-care page. Now this page is great if sometimes you just want to remember some of the things that make you you and help you kind of relax and just feel better about life, because let's be honest, it's been a little hard these past few months, years. But basically, as you can see, instead of it being completely square boxes, I'm going to kind of cut the corners to each of the middle parts and create a little self-care title in the middle. And each box is going to be a different thing: body, mind, recharge, and remember. And these are things that I can do to make sure that I'm being the best version of myself and just taking care of myself throughout the year. So things like brushing my teeth, leaving the house, exercising daily, doing meditation, writing lists, talking to people. You know, it's just every section has its own little thing that helps me. You can change up these sections if you don't like them, but really it's just your time to figure out, okay, what do I like to do for myself? All right, so the next page we're going to create is my YouTube channel overview page, and this is really a tracker for myself to let me know what videos I've uploaded on YouTube. I know not everybody's going to have this page, but you can kind of use it as your own if you're maybe doing a podcast or if you're just wanting something else to track. But basically, I'm creating my own little YouTube video with description of things that I've done. I'm gonna track how many subscribers that I have on January 1st, and then at the end of the year, I'll track how many I have there. This page is really for me to track all of the videos that I made in 2022. So I'm just gonna write down 1 to 30 because I plan on making 30 videos, and just putting the title of the videos down below. I'm not sure what to put in the thumbnail section yet. I'll let you know when I know what's going to go in there on my social media channels. But yeah, this is just a page for me to track all the videos I make in 2022 and kind of reflect and see how awesome they were. All right, so the next page that we're going to create is our travel page. I'm starting off by creating a row that separates the page into 2 areas. Of course, I have to doodle cars along the road as well. But the 2 sections are places I want to go and places I went. So in the places I want to go section, I'm just going to put places I want to go. And then when I go somewhere, I'll put them down in the places I went, just so I can see an overview of where all I've gone in 2022. I think this is a cute little travel page that doesn't take too much work. So the next page I'm creating is the page that I like to call Dom's page. Basically, it's a page that I can write down anything pertaining to Dom, any gifts I want to get him, any date night ideas I have. So I'm starting off at the top here with creating a doodle of a picture, kind of like one that you would put inside of a scrapbook. And inside of this, I'm going to put ideas for different date nights. So we like to paint miniatures, so that's a good date night. We like to play board games. You know, any ideas that we can do together kind of goes into this little box here. Moving down from that, I'm going to put a quote in the middle of his page, and it's whatever souls are made of, his and mine are the same, from Emily Bronte. I believe that's from Wuthering Heights. I'm not sure it's entirely, but I loved it. The next section on this page is going to be gift ideas, so I'm just making a simple present and putting gift ideas. So anytime that I come up with an idea for a gift or he tells me he wants something, I can just write it here and remember it for, you know, his birthday or Christmas. And last thing on this page is just a small little doodle of the 2 of us in the corner. I love how this doodle came out so much. And then last but not least, just giving a bit more color to the overall page. And here's how this page turned out. So the next page that we're going to be doing is the healthy life page. I have anxiety over my health, especially during a pandemic. That has also not been great, but I use this page to help me feel better. So I'm starting off by creating 3 different boxes and 1 box off to the side that's kind of like a doctor's little sticky note type thing. Putting headers onto each box. One's for the doctors, one's for the dentist, and 1 is for eye care. I'll then divide these boxes into different sections, and the sections that I divide them into are date, when did I go to this place, what was the reason for my going there, and what was the result, if I had any prescriptions that were given to me, if I was told to rest, yada yada yada. That's the kind of information that goes onto this page. I'll then just create a couple of little doodles. Again, love those squares and those triangles, so simple. And yeah, that finishes off this page. So my next page is going to be a fitness tracker. I'm trying to get really healthy for this upcoming year. So I'm separating the page into 31 lines. And then I'm going to create 1 line that is going to be for the date. And then the rest of it gets separated out into 12 equal boxes. I'm going to number the days. And then January, February, March at the top. Of course, give it a title, and then below is going to be our key. So each box I'm going to color in every single day if I do an exercise, which hopefully I will. And then if I don't do an exercise, then it's just going to remain blank. And at the end of the year, I can see how many days and what kind of exercises I did each day. And I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing this all at the end of the year. I used to do this as a monthly tracker, but I decided to just dedicate a whole page to it to see how that turns out and to see if I use it. And I really hope I will, because it looks great. So the next page that we're going to set up starts kind of our money tracking section of the bullet journal. It's going to be our budget breakdown page. Now, this page used to be a 2-page spread. I'm doing it as a 1-page spread this year. This page helps me categorize where I spend my money each month, and it gives me a specific category to put each of my items into. So I'm starting out by creating 12 different boxes for this page and then labeling them 1 to 12. I'm then going to create a doodle next to each icon that kind of coincides with what the category is. And then I'm going to write down what specifically is that category. So I'll give it a title and then just bullet points of what goes into that category. So anytime I put money towards rent, that goes in category 1. Anytime I do any transportation, drive a car, get gas, that goes in category 2, etc., etc. I'll show you on the next page how I use these categories. But we're going to just do simple color for this page. Doesn't need to be super fancy. Do a couple of doodles of dollar bills at the bottom and call it good. So the next page that we're going to create is our subscription tracker page. This is where I put all of my reoccurring monthly or yearly subscriptions. I'm going to start off by creating a box that will hold a good amount of subscriptions. We don't have too many, but we have enough to be able to track them all. As you can tell, I really love dividing my boxes and stuff with these alternating colorful lines. I just think they're so easy to do and they look so good. And then I'm going to divide this box into a couple of different sections. So the first is, what category does this subscription fall under? Majority of them are entertainment, so it's number 10. What is the subscription? How much does it cost? When does it renew, whether that be monthly or yearly? What day does it renew? If it's auto, meaning does it come automatically out of our account? And what account does it come out of? And then at the bottom here, just because I had some space, I decided to make a simple key for our bank. So J is our joint bank, S is for Sam, D is for Doms, etc. Our next page is one of my favorites. It's Edward and Ellie's page. I'm just going to start with a little doodle of a little mouse and Edward and Ellie kind of grabbing the mouse. I love doodling them, but I also just kind of wanted their paws in for this year. So yeah. And for them, what I like to track each and every month is when we give them their flea meds. It should be the same day each month. Sometimes it's on the 14th, sometimes it's on the 15th. Either way, we can track each month when we give them flea meds. Their next section on their page is going to be their health section. So just like for me and our healthy lifestyle page, they get a little health section. Ellie unfortunately got really injured. She got hit by a car. We've been very, very stressed out about it, but she's doing well. But this page will be very important because we have lots of vet visits in the upcoming weeks for her. So send us some good vibes. We definitely need it. She definitely needs it. And yeah, so this is just date, why we went to the vet, and what was the result. And the last thing on their page is going to be their monthly cost tracker. This is the monthly cost tracker that I do for each and every month, but also for different pages as well. So for Edward and Ellie, I'm starting off by creating a box that's going to hold months 1 through 12 inside of it. And then off to the side of that, I'm going to create one graph. And this graph is going to be a representation of how much money we're spending month to month on them. The numbers that I do for these kind of graphs is 1 equals 10, 2 equals 20, 3 equals 30, so on and so forth. And it's just a great way to know how much you're spending on them on a month-to-month basis. Now moving on, our next page is going to be our transportation cost page. I'm calling this page our car page, as you'll see here in a second. But I'm setting up the exact same monthly tracker as I did for the cats. And then I'm going to go ahead and give this page a title. It's car with 2 R's because Dom decided to name our car after I was like, we have to give our new car a name. And he was like, no, I don't want to. We decided to name it car with 2 R's. So that's his name. Anyways, I'm doing a mileage tracker to know how many miles we spent during the year. And this is just going to be in these little speedometer doodles that I have here. So I'll do one at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year. And then after that, I'll just create very much similar to the healthy report. If there's any issues, what day did we take the car in? What was the issue and what was the fix? And that is our car page. Our next page is kind of a boring one to set up, but it's going to look so good at the end of the year. I am making 4 graphs on this spread. It's going to be our categories cost tracker for the year. I'm then going to label each graph starting on the horizontal one, 5 to 85. Again, 5 equals 50, 10, 100, 15, 150, etc., etc. Then I'm going to be dividing the bottom one into the different months. So month 1 through 12. So every month I'm going to tally up how much I spent in each category, and that is going to then be put onto these graphs. So let's say, for example, in category 1, our housing category, I spent 850 pounds. I'm then going to put in January 850 pounds on this graph, and then throughout the course of the year, I can then see like how much was trending, how much should we spend from month to month. It's just a nice visual representation of your year and where you kind of spent your money. I'm going to give each category their own color, and this finishes off the yearly categories cost tracker. All right, so we're almost done. We are on our last spread now, which is our income tracker spread. This is a 4-page spread, one for each quarter of the year. And because I am freelance, I need to have very, very detailed accounts of what comes in each month for accounting records. I'm going to start off by sectioning off these pages into thirds, very much like our future log. I'll title this income tracker with quarter 1 and quarter 2 for each page. And then I'm going to go through and create different sections. So I'm starting off by the date. When did I get this money? Where did it come from? Like who paid me, what production company, what client, etc. How much it was for, if it was in pounds or if it was in US dollars, that goes in converted, and if it's taxed or not. Sometimes it will be taxed, sometimes it won't be taxed, just depending. So I just need to know yes or no, and then I know how much money to set aside for it. I really like giving each quarter its own color. So as you can see here, quarter 1 is in green and quarter 2 is in blue, and it just looks so nice. So that's quarter 1 and quarter 2 of our income tracker. Now we just need to do the exact same setup for quarter 3 and quarter 4. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And that concludes the income tracker page. So flipping all the way to the front now, we're going to create our quote for the year. And this quote I recently refound and knew it was just what I wanted for my 2022 quote. It's "We have to remember what's important in life. Friends, waffles, and work," or waffles, friends, and work. But work has to come third. It's a quote from Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, and it's just the vibe that I'm going to go for 2022. So that completes our 2022 bullet journal setup. Now let's do a final flip through. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for watching. I would say one of my favorite takeaways from this journal is the colors that are used, the shapes, how easy it is to make something look really, really cool, and just the overall vibe for this year. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Let me know which of these spreads were your favorite. And if you decide to do any of these spreads, I would love to see what you create. Tag me on social media wherever you're at and let me see them. While you're down there making your comment, be sure to do all those other things on YouTube that I know you know how to do in 2021. And remember, the door is always open to imagination and creativity. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!